and welcome to this week's episode of the How to Film Weddings podcast. My name is Nick Miller. I am flying this episode sans John. He is busy getting ready to film another wedding in another part of the country, and so it's just me today, but I am joined with some very, very special people. That's right, I am joined today with Calen and Kristine Rhome from Wediter and Revery. I don't know if you've heard this or not, but Venture Workshop is coming back. It is October 17th through 20th. 2022. It's in Oregon. It's going to be super incredible. We didn't actually talk about this in the episode, but after we finished recording, Calen was like, you know what? We need to do something special for the How to Film Weddings community. And so if you go to ventureworkshop.co and you type in the promo code HTFW100, you will get one of two things. Either 100% off or $100 off. I am not totally sure. I'm pretty sure it's $100. You go HTFW 100, you will get $100 off Venture Workshop, and that's ventureworkshop.co. Today's conversation talked about a few things before Venture. Make sure you stick around for that if you are interested in going. But we talked about creativity a little bit with Christy and some of the things that she was thinking about, some of the things that she has gone through over the past year when it comes to being creative. And it's a really inspiring conversation if you maybe feel like you're burnt out or in a little bit of a rut. So I'm very excited about today's podcast. Again, Venture Workshop is back. That's ventureworkshop.co. Promo code HTFW100 for $100 off. And with that, we are now going to jump into today's episode. It seems like there are new cameras and equipment coming out all of the time. It gets increasingly confusing and the FOMO is real. John and I have been preaching for years that the best way to try out new gear is to rent before you buy. There is only one place that we recommend when it comes to renting, and that is our friends over at Lens Rentals. Lens Rentals is the premier source for renting not only camera equipment, but lenses, drones, projectors, and more. Do you have a big project coming up and you really need to wow your couple? Wanting to test out the newest camera before you drop thousands on it? You need Lens Rentals. My favorite thing is that if I love something I rent, I can keep it. They apply a portion of the rental fee to the purchase price, and within a few simple clicks, the gear is mine. So head over to howtofilmweddings.com/lensrentals and use promo code HTFW15 at checkout for 15% off of your order. Lens Rentals, the only place we recommend renting. Well, welcome again to the podcast, Calen and Kristine from Wediter and Revery. It has been a minute since you both have been on here. How are you doing? Why don't you catch up the How to Film Weddings community with what you've been up to?
Yeah, it's been a while. I would say this year's been, I guess, finally getting into the swing of things for us compared to the past couple years. We're taking less weddings now and kind of focusing our energy on a lot of other areas that we like to spend our time in and other different businesses and ventures and stuff like that. But what was really cool about this year is we focused on a big milestone for us. We hit 10 years for our company from the first time we filmed our first wedding. So that was a big moment. I would say that was in April this year.
It was March.
Yep. And so we decided to put together our first legacy reel, which is kind of like a demo reel, but it had a lot of moments that meant a lot to us over the years. So that was one of the big things that we kind of spent our energy on the first half of this year, because we've never done a demo reel for 10 years of our career. So it was kind of nice to reminisce about a lot of different moments that we got to be a part of, a lot of different couple stories. And we even went back in the archives like 7 years, I think 7 years, pulled footage from 7 years, did some restoration so that it blended with the new camera systems and everything. But overall, we're really excited to put that out on our YouTube channel, where we put together our legacy reel this year in April.
Yeah.
That's
What? Sorry, I interrupted you. What did you say?
Oh, no, it's
Kristine?
okay. That was one of our favorite things that we've done this year. And for me personally, it felt very restorative, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we did the thing where we went like real hard and booked way too many weddings and then pulled back. And then when COVID hit, it was like, weddings suddenly became kind of a scary thing for me. If we got COVID, then our kid couldn't be in school, and then we would be completely off track and things like that. So for a while there, we were mostly sending Calen to weddings so I could stay home and make sure our kid was going to be okay. At least we could quarantine him and things like that. And so there was like this weird thing that happened for me for a little stretch there where I was like, I don't know if I should be filming weddings at all. Like we should be sending someone to my place. And then I started feeling a little disconnected from weddings, if that makes sense. Almost feeling like starting to feel completely out of the swing of things. And anyway, and so diving into Calen, when Calen told me he wanted to do a legacy reel, I was like, what? I don't know if I really could mentally do something like that. So I sucked it up and was like, whatever, this is going to mean more to me than anything. So I went through and started doing it. And it was really this major reminder to me that like what it is that we do and why we do it and the memories, the special moments. I mean, I was literally going through, it's really funny because at one point we were like, let's make it a demo reel. Like, no, is it a demo reel? Because there's moments in there that I added and refused to let Calen pull out. I added it because it was for me. Like that was a special moment that was so significant for me. So it wasn't something to, like it eventually morphed into this thing that was like, this is for me, not for everyone else. And this is something I can like hold on to and like show my kid and then explain the stories behind it and things like that. And there's certain things we did end up putting in there because we were like, well, people are going to see this for them as a demo reel or so. But so I changed some things, but like I was like pushing back on, I was like, I don't want to go or I don't want to edit this at all. It's going to be too mentally consuming. And then I went for a jog and was just listening to like a music bed playlist and a song came on and it was almost like every part of it started coming to into my brain, just started piecing together in my brain. I was like, oh, well, I guess now I have to do this. And anyway, so that's kind of one of the reasons why we did it. But for me, it was really that we filmed a wedding like the week after I finished editing it. And I showed up feeling so excited for the day, like pumped up. I felt creatively refreshed, like amped for what I was doing. And it felt so surprising to me because I had been feeling just very off track. I was like, I feel like I have like lost my excitement for everything. I had gotten more caught up in how like nervous I was to be doing things after COVID. Of course, like things are so much better after COVID now. But anyway, yeah. Oh, can I also preface that my voice is like an octave lower? We just dove right in and just didn't explain why my voice is so low right now. So
I'm doing a high voice right now.
There was like a wildfire and the smoke was blowing into Denver. And I woke up and had the deepest voice anyone's ever heard from Kristine.
It's like the Friends episode.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so. we were talking about that, and I know, Kristi, you've kind of ventured into music and singing, and starting your career kind of going that way a little bit. So maybe today's a good day just to re-record all of your music, an octave lower, all of your songs.
I have been like laughingly just turning on some of like the lowest female vocal songs that I know, and just seeing if I could take them an octave lower, like. Yeah. Like listening to Lord and just singing an octave lower. I know. I feel like I could probably do some low, re-record a lot of. I genuinely can go like I think 5 steps lower than my lowest low.
That's insane.
The low that I can do on a regular day. So anyway, very fun.
Yeah, now this is going to be some people's first introduction to you. And then, when they meet you and see you and your voice is so much higher, they're like, who's this girl? I don't know who this lady is.
I'm going to, from now on, only try to talk like this.
Yeah,
so
definitely. That's what you should do.
As the lowest vocalist in this trio today.
So in April, for our mastermind, we had a VIP get together, and we went to Denver and we got to spend a little bit of time with you guys. And I think it was Emma who does some stuff for us, and she might have been twisting your. I don't know what she did, but you gave us kind of a little sneak early preview of this film that you made, this legacy film, and we were all sitting there just like, this is incredible. And I liked how you took that, this is kind of for me, like, obviously we're showing off our business and, what we have done and the cool shots and the beautiful and all the thing, but you made it more personal for yourself because, that's, while we are doing something for other people as, creatives, we are still doing stuff for ourselves a little bit too. And I know that you wrote kind of a script or something, and you spoke into that. And so, one thing as we were chatting a little bit before, we hit record, I was just talking about how, for us, Wild Oak Films, we've been on this stretch where the weddings have just been kind of rough, for us, where there was one where I think it was 55-mile-an-hour winds. So we couldn't go outside. It was so windy,
slow motion. There we go.
Right. And, and of course the bride had, one of those hairdos where she had hair that was down. So it was always in her face and that kind of stuff. And then we had some, where, so one of our most viewed videos on YouTube is this one where this groom just gets super emotional. It's got over 1 million views or whatever. And have you guys ran into this where people hire you to film that and then they think that I can magically turn them into these emotional people, whatever they're not, and it's that's not what I did. That's what those people were. And we just, and so we've just gone through these weddings where I just feel like something hasn't clicked or something's gone wrong or something like that. And I'm just feeling a lot of, burnout and stuff. And I think as you were talking about this legacy film, Kristine, you were sharing, the things that were going with you. I appreciate that you found something, to do. And, we get in this rut of, I have to film this wedding. I have to do this. I have to do all these things. And maybe looking for another way for creativity, another outlet that you can do so that you can rejuvenate yourself just a little bit and, put the wind back in your sails or something like that. And so I'm excited to hear, that you're excited, to do weddings, again, when it's been, a couple of years, it's just been kind of rough for so many people in lots of different regards. People. Yeah.
Well, also aside from it becoming scary at one point for a lot of people, then it was the year after when everybody was making up for the cancellations. And then it was everybody's I'm suddenly doing 2 a weekend or what, then they're just over busy. And I can't even imagine what some people are feeling. I have more than one friend, but one in particular that in April I was spending a lot of time with. And she was telling me that for her, weddings can be very just technical. There's no creative energy that she puts into it. She knows exactly what shots to get. She's she's delivering structure. Yeah, it's very template structure. And she's talking about how she's one of the most creative humans I know. I mean, when I say that, I mean it. And I know almost all my friends are creative humans. She is amplified to the max. Yep. But I just was sitting there feeling so jealous of her because she's she has so many outlets for her creativity. Mm-hmm. And that kind of takes me back to sometimes I feel a little jealous of the people who are this is this thing that I do. And it's template structure and it's a business and it's what brings me it pays my bills and stuff like that. But I say that because it's really fascinating how, I don't know if you've ever done a lot of extensive studies on creativity. I have read books about it. I'm fascinated by creativity. I have it is what moves my bones every morning. The creativity is what makes me want to wake up in the morning. And so I've spent a lot of time reading books about it, studying it, listening to podcasts, having letting it move through my body as much as possible. I feel Calen and I both are kings and queens of having as many sources of creativity in our lives as possible. But it's really fascinating with weddings because a lot of us, I've just been thinking about this. this is also a source of income for us. This is what like pays our bills. This is what helps our daughter go to school. This is what puts a roof over our head. And then we put, this financial burden or whatever onto our creative outlet. And it's really, really fascinating what it can sometimes do. Sometimes it's magical. It is the most exciting thing in the world. And sometimes it can really, really be heavy on us. You know what I mean? And so I know exactly what you're feeling because I've definitely experienced that as well. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing or that it's a good thing. I actually think it's a beautiful thing because for me personally, it pushes me to make sure that I'm experiencing creativity in other ways outside of weddings. And I think that's been one of the most helpful things for me personally. I make music. I sometimes paint. I just sewed like a cape. Sewing.
Get into some fashion there. Okay.
Feels random, but like
making mini cakes. Is that what that Insta story was
making,
that you did?
Or daughter.
No, that's just mental breakdown. No, I'm just kidding. I've been laughing with everyone about that. But so for me, that has been, I don't know if that's helpful for anyone else, but finding as many, whenever I catch myself realizing that my creativity is feeling super depleted, one of the helpful things for me is just find other ways to be creative and make sure creativity feels fresh and keep it. That's why we were doing creative nights. I was so creatively depleted. Creative nights is basically like everyone who's attending has to bring like a 3 to 5 minute presentation on creativity. At
our house, like it was, someone could sing, someone could play an instrument, someone could, write poetry, someone could show us how to solve a Rubik's Cube, anything. You know what I mean?
It's fascinating. Honestly, if I could recommend it to anybody, was that a Venture mug?
Oh, look at that.
Watch this video on YouTube if you want to see it.
No, honestly, I did that because there's this Maya Angelou quote that let me pull it up because I don't want to butcher it, but creativity quote. Sorry, I know we're just really going. It's about creativity. You can't use up creativity. The more you use, the more you have. And I was like, well, if I'm feeling like there's not a lot of creativity moving through my body, then I'm going to force it until I feel like it's actually there. So I just demanded everyone in the house, like, show up, get dressed up. We lit the living room. A
little spotlight.
We had a microphone.
I remember some of those Insta stories, watching you guys have fun and, all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
I was like, and it's fascinating. I think the moment that I really realized how awesome it was, I think that it's like, sure, when you think of like, oh, creative presentation, is it going to be like a song? Is it going to be like, there's certain things that come to your mind, but I started realizing people would show up with like how to install Wi-Fi into a house properly and talk.
And I was blown away. I was like, that's actually
supposed to be 3 to 5 minutes. This one was a 45-minute presentation, and he sat down afterwards and I was like, bro, I did not want that to end. And that was the moment when I realized like creativity is so much more than just art and whatever, music and things like that. And to always be open to like seeing it, feeling it, experiencing it, like, for sure. So anyway, so I was forcing it. I was like, I'm going to demand it to be in our households every 2 weeks or whatever. Suddenly I was like having people begging to come. Like, can you please host it? I just had to like cancel one because I broke my toe. But we almost hosted it like over the weekend too. So it's just amazing. It's go ahead. Sorry.
I'll let you finish.
I feel like creativity, to me, my favorite way to explain it, I don't really know what it is, but I always explain it as like a best friend. And whenever I felt like I wasn't talking to my best friend for a while there, I was like gonna demand it. I was like, I'm gonna call it every day and demand that my best friend is hanging out with me. So go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay,
Back in my, youth minister pastor days, I heard this quote of this guy who was a marriage counselor, whatever. And he's like, whenever couples come to me and they're having a problem in their relationship and they don't feel in love anymore, the advice I give them is, I want you to act like you are so in love with each other. And he said, 9 times out of 10, real feeling follows how you're acting. And so there are so many things in our life that if we start acting in a certain way, that those feelings or those emotions or the real stuff, will actually follow through. And it's like that with, as you're talking about creativity, when you're like, I feel in a rut. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to be creative. I don't know what you're like, hey, we're going to do these things and I'm going to force myself to do it. And then what flowed out of you and what came, from that. So that's really cool. And as we were talking beforehand, burnout, is just a thing because there's so many people that are just filming so much, or you're overbooked, or you're still catching up from, the repercussions of COVID from 2 years ago. And, we're still kind of working through all of that. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about, why we had you guys on today, is you have just announced that Venture is coming back later this year in October as we're launching this episode. And I think that is a great spot if there are any people that are feeling burnt out, if there are any people that are feeling overwhelmed or kind of in their business or whatever. And there are so many things that are great about Venture that can help people through those feelings. And so I'm just going to open it up again, let you guys talk about what Venture is, where it is, when it is, who's going to be there, the purpose of it, all of that kind of stuff. So take it away and talk us about Venture 2022.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we are very excited about Venture. Last year was the first year, I would say, in the past, 5 years that we have not hosted Venture. 2020 was the last one that we hosted in Denver, and it was really exciting. And I think it was what everyone needed during that time, and just was able to hug people and connect. And we just wanted to wait until a lot of the uncertainties of COVID last year. It was just really difficult to produce and put on a workshop. So we wanted things to kind of slow down before we decided to bring it back. And we're back. We wanted to host it again. Venture's back, baby.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I just wanted to I needed to throw that in at some point.
So it's going to be hosted this October 17th through the 20th, 2022. It's going to be in Oregon, in the Silver Falls area. And this is actually where we hosted the second Venture. If anybody attended the second Venture edition, this is the same location. It's all going to be on site. So instead of having a large group of people like we've had the past couple of years, where we'd have 70 to 80 people sometimes in one space, we really wanted to kind of go back to our roots and keep things more intimate and more personal. So we're actually capping this Venture at 30 attendees max. And we will have 5 teachers. We'll have David from Forestry Films. We'll have Matt Johnson, us, obviously. And then we also have invited Stanton from Films by Stanton. He's going to be there, Keen of Destination Wedding videos. And then Catherine Magic, which she used to be an attendee. And then she also helped assist hosting and then is now a teacher. So we really like to kind of, I would say, raise up a lot of filmmakers that are in the community that are doing amazing things. And she has created such a beautiful
everything.
Beautiful imagery and everything that she does, but her storytelling is amazing. And so we're really excited to have these 5 teachers that are going to be present at this Venture. So if you think about it, it's going to be roughly 1 to 6 attendees per teacher. So we're going to be very personal. This one is different than the other ones because we're keeping it narrowed down to a select group of people. We're also going to have everything on site. So lodging is going to be included. Food is going to be included. We're all going to be together for 4 days, 3 nights. And it's going to be really exciting because if you have any questions, if you want to focus your time on any aspect of your filmmaking craft, you're going to have access to all the teachers in any way possible. We might go out at night, do some astrophotography. Maybe we'll do some editing in one of the lodges and just hang out. Let's do some color grading. Let's go over camera systems. We're going to have some traditional presentations, obviously, from each teacher. But what really excites us for this venture is we're going to be having 2 days of styled shoots. So we're going to be dumping a lot into really extensive styled shoot that will have full installations, full ceremony spaces, tablescapes. We're going to have some really cool areas that we can focus our attention and details and florals on. And then also we're going to have multiple models. So you'll have so much time to create some of the best content that you want, and you'll be able to use this for your brand. You can create whatever type of demo reel you want so that you can attract the couples that you're wanting to attract. So the goal with this venture is you're going to go there, have such an amazing community. You're going to have full access to all the teachers, and you're going to leave with some of the best content that you've probably ever filmed. So we're really excited about that. And people can check all the extra details out on the website at ventureworkshop.co. And as of now, I think we're about halfway sold out. So it's only been launched for about a day and a half now. So I know when this podcast airs, we'll probably be a little bit less, but if you're on the fence, if you have any questions, just reach out to us. And again, this one is going to be more focused specifically for like the adventure, wedding, and elopement theme. So what that means is the teachers and the content is going to be focused on that style and genre. And now, if you are also like a luxury filmmaker, or you like to shoot fine art, or maybe you're all about building teams and stuff, you can still learn a lot from this workshop. But we will just want to note that it is going to be focused on getting out there, adventure. We're going to have massive waterfall scene. We're going to have couples outside. We're going to have intimate inside cabin shoots, and a lot of decor, a lot of greenery. So, I mean, this is the focus of it, but it's going to be elaborate and it's going to be really exciting. So just kind of wanted to mention a few of those elements.
John and I have to tell you about one of our favorite places to upload our wedding films, and that is Love Stories TV. Love Stories TV is one of the best free resources for wedding filmmakers. The best part is they are bringing the couples to us. All you have to do is upload your films and you are good to go. Upload unlimited wedding films to your completely free business page. Setup is easy and your films can be live in just minutes. Now is the perfect time to start uploading to Love Stories. Every video you upload is personally reviewed by the Love Stories team for potential social features. And if they choose one of your films, they'll pay you. They have paid wedding filmmakers over $15,000 in the past year just for features. To get all of the details, head over to howtofilmweddings.com/lovestoriestv. Start uploading and have your work viewed by the Love.
Hi, it's Michael from Wediter. We want to thank everyone for the incredible support we've received since sponsoring How to Film Weddings. Yes, we've had some growing pains, but we've had far more wins. And we're doing something that's never been done. We're a remote team of over 50 editors in 10 countries. I often joke that we're as much a logistics company as we are a creative company. Right now, demand is off the charts. And we don't just say yes to everyone and scramble to figure it out. That's why we're asking you to help us help more of you. In short, we're looking for more talented Weditors, part-time or full-time, work from where you want, when you want, as long as you hit deadlines and deliver quality. It's a chance to get paid while growing as an editor. Our project managers work with you, explaining why something feels right or doesn't, because there's always a reason. If you're interested, we'd love to hear from you. Go to wediter.com/editor and fill out our form.
Yeah, it's going to be incredible. And not only will you get, 3 days in Oregon with 29 of your other closest filmmaking friends, and Matt Johnson and White and Revery and Stanton and Catherine, David. Also, John and I are going to be there, just hanging out, having fun. Like we're going to be your fun hype crew, I think.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's going to be super fun. That's what I want with this venture, is not that, hey, you're just going to take notes and listen to a presentation, is that you're going to connect on a deeper level. One thing I felt that we really missed a little bit of the mark in 2020 is we were busy producing a lot of the workshop. And so I felt like we weren't very present. There were a lot of people that we didn't get to connect with. I didn't feel like we were able to give our full selves to the attendees as much. And that kind of really bothered us, which is why we wanted to kind of restructure this a little bit and be more on an intimate level.
I think that was our personal thing, because I think at every moment, like at any given moment, I was looking around and seeing everybody talking, but I felt like my mind was full of producing everything, that I was jealous of seeing everyone else doing it. Does that make sense? And I mean, in reality, it was like October 2020. At any given on every single day, I looked around and saw people crying to each other. Like not like in a weird way, but in like a, hey, this connection is so important. And I think everybody really, really realized it at that point, like how important it is to just be connecting with other human beings. But so I think I was like jealous of it. And so that's one of the reasons why we were leaning so hard into making it a smaller event, because that's one of my favorite things about Venture. The fact that I see Venture attendees vacationing together like a year or two afterwards blows my mind. There was one time we were saying goodbye, like loading up our car, and I looked over and there were people who were like emotional about having to say goodbye to each other. They were like, will I ever get to see you again though? Like, when are we going to hang out again? Like other attendees talking to other attendees. It actually happened at Silver Falls. I was like, are those people crying? Like no judgment, but like, that's what I love. The sitting around the fire,
playing guitar,
hanging out, like the networking and the connection, so that whenever someone is experiencing burnout and they're like, I'm desperate, or they see that their friend is building a company, or they get too many inquiries and they need someone to pass it to, or they're getting a new piece of equipment and want someone to like talk about it with. That's the kind of stuff that happens at Venture to me, or that I see. It's like the friendships built so that like, even when people live states away, or countries away, I just saw a quick email come in from someone from another country. I love how international our group, our audience has always been, or the attendees has always been. It's just really cool to me to see that people are still connecting afterwards, that people are still keeping in touch. And I think that setting everything up to be so intimate, where they're, really, really like, hey, I'm forced to be here. And it's not like they walk in and there's a group of 80 people. Instead, it's a smaller group and they can connect, outside of it. I think it's really wonderful. Also, Calen and I are extroverted.
Yes.
Like for the most part. So I'm like, get in there, like, come on, hang out with everybody, talk.
And this is the 6th edition. I think the first one, Nick, was that 2018 or 2017?
I think it was 17.
17 in the fall. Yeah.
January,
that was the first one we hosted. This is the 6th one, and every single one of them is sold out. So
I love thinking about that very first one, because you were there. Like, think of all the people. Jay and Mac were there. Becca and Black was there.
And then throughout the years, we've had
Best.
KJ, we've had Alyssa,
Dawn.
we've had Catherine. There's so many people that have come out of Venture.
That I'm thinking of that I'm like, okay, I won't list all like 20 people, but like that first one I always think about, because it's so exciting to see where everybody goes.
Yeah.
Like they make connections, they come and they learn and they make connections, and it's just beautiful. It's like really freaking cool.
And I will reiterate and say that I think that was one of the really cool things about that first one that we went to, because it was a smaller group, and the connections are more when you're with a group of 25 people, it's harder, even if you're kind of a loner, to be a loner, like you're going to connect with people, and you're going to get in with people, and you are going to build those relationships, and you never know. I know that even to this day, over the past, 5 years that it's been, Jay and Mac have gotten us weddings. We've gotten them weddings. Becca has gotten us weddings. I've shared, lots of people that I met 5 years ago, connecting with them and building relationships with them and that kind of stuff. And I think that that's the cool thing about a workshop like this, is you don't you're going to get lots of knowledge from people that have been doing this for a while. You're going to be inspired, but those relationships with other peers, it's so incredible, and that networking, and you never know what can happen from that. So we are really excited. John and I are really excited to be there and to see what happens later this year in October with that. The website is ventureworkshop.co. Is that right?
Yep, that's it.
Okay. So if you are interested in, going to venture this year, make sure you head over to the website, ventureworkshop.co. Again, as of recording this, we're about halfway sold out. So you might want to head over there and pick up your tickets right now. Calen, Kristine, thank you so much for hopping on the podcast and talking to us about this and sharing a little bit. If there is anyone that would like to follow you guys along or get more updates or anything like that, where should they be following you guys along at?
myspace.com I'm
okay, so whiteandrevery.com, Revery, but also on Instagram, and then on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/whiteandrevery. Those are the 3 different areas that we usually post or at least engage with people. So
you can hear my actual voice there. Yeah. Although I feel like it's such a treat for everyone to hear me in such a dragon state right now. So
it is definitely a treat.
What a treat.
Yeah. And I'm sure you guys know, Christy is always serious and she doesn't joke, and she's 100% legit talking about her voice and all that kind of stuff today.
One of my favorite things, I get so much joy when I troll you guys on How to Film Weddings Facebook group.
It might be so anytime I see your name pop up, I instantly start laughing. Like even before I start reading it, I know it's going to be something funny. It's going to be something good. So
remember when I was photoshopping your face all the time?
Oh my gosh.
I'm so sorry.
Oh my gosh. Man.
I think I was crying the first time I was doing it because I was laughing so hard.
It's getting worse and worse.
I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was incredible. I think I took a screenshot of it. I need to put it somewhere.
No, just let that leave your brain. That was terrible. But yeah, I'm very serious online. If you see anything from me, it's always exactly seriousness. So
always exactly seriousness. So, well, guys, thank you so much for coming on. Again, that website is ventureworkshop.co. Appreciate you taking the time, and we will see you guys soon.
Thanks for having us on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks so much. It's great to see you.
Calen, Kristine, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. Again, the promo code HTFW100 for $100 off at ventureworkshop.co. This does not apply to 2-person tickets, only single tickets. That's HTFW100 at checkout from ventureworkshop.co. Thank you all so much for listening, and until next time, we will see you.
Are you looking for a better way to deliver your wedding films to your couples? Look no further. Our friends over at Webflow provide the most flexible video delivery solution on the market. Webflow is pay-per-project with no large upfront cost or commitment, and you can cancel anytime. Not only that, Webflow offers a premium viewing experience for your couples, accessible on mobile, tablet, desktop, as well as their very own suite of TV apps. Each project comes with 10 years hosting and an experience for your clients that will blow them away. Stop delivering your films the old-fashioned way and give your couples something to rave about. Head on over to howtofilmweddings.com/Webflow to check out Webflow today.